This is Late Night with the Devil on our 31 spooky movies of Halloween. Do you ever watch a movie and think, this is brilliant, right up until it isn't? Well, that is Late Night with the Devil. Now, it's a horror flick that starts out like The Tonight Show, but ends like an episode of Jerry Springer Apocalypse Special, and I mean that in the best possible way. So, what does this mean? Here is our opening setup, if you are brave enough. It is 1977. Bell-bottoms, cigarettes, and unregulated child trauma in entertainment is all over the place. And I know many of you are just like, oh, there's the trauma. Nope, not yet, not yet. Here we meet Jack Delroy, a late-night talk show host whose career is circling the drain faster than a goldfish named ratings. This is a host who is desperate. The competition is killing him, so in a move that could only come from someone running out of time, ideas, and in a movie that is a found footage horror movie, he decides to host a live Halloween night special. The gimmick? He's bringing on a psychic, a skeptic, a medium, and a child who may or may not be possessed by a demon. Because nothing says late night primetime television like exploiting a traumatized child on live TV. I like to think somewhere, someplace in the universe, Donahue is watching this thinking, that is a tried and true strategy. And this is really where the movie shines. It is filmed like a lost VHS broadcast, complete with static, smoke, awkward applause, and a studio audience that looked like they were bribed with a free meatloaf dinner from Showbiz. Now, every second feels authentically 70s. The wood paneling, the gross mustard-colored suits, the way the host keeps smiling even though he's clearly dying on the inside, kind of like an airline stewardess. Sorry, flight attendant. You can smell polyester and regret with every single frame of this film. Between segments, the movie cuts to behind-the-scenes footage, so you can see all the juicy stuff, the producers panicking, the director chain-smoking, and Jack's smile fading faster than his career. It's genius, in a way. It really does feel like you're watching a cursed TV broadcast that someone taped Charlie's Angels over. And you get a lot of story tidbits this way as well. I mean, sure, it's found footage, but here lately it just seems like found footage has to do something a little extra to be something other than just found footage. We talked about it with The Final Prayer, and now this one. Gotta be a little bit more clever these days, because just doing this with a camera doesn't count it anymore. So, we have a psychic who acts like she bought her clairvoyance off of Craigslist. We have a skeptic who is 100% guaranteed to die in the most horrific and entertaining way possible. A medium who probably should have stayed rare. And a little girl who survived a satanic cult, and for some reason, her legal guardian said, sure, go on live TV and air your trauma. What's the worst that could happen? This is the kind of decision that makes Child Protective Services develop ulcers. Now, the little girl, her name is Lily, and she's quiet, she's unsettling, and shocker, plot twist, click off if you don't want to know, she may have a guest star from hell riding shotgun in her soul. Now, as far as the buildup goes, the tension, it builds slowly and methodically. You start to notice things. A flickering light here, a weird voice there, someone's drink spontaneously catching on fire, normal talk show stuff. And also, keep your eye out for the host's wife, because she's often hiding in the background. And the audience just laughs, because they all think it's part of the show, until it's not. And let me tell you, when the horror starts, it really starts. The possession scenes are intense, creepy and shot in that deliberately off-kilter 70s style that makes everything feel one step away from a mental breakdown, basically me every weekday. It is unnerving, but it is unnerving in all the right possible ways. So who have we got starring in this thing? Well, I know I'm going to mispronounce his name. David Dastmalchian. I hope that's how you say it. You know him from the Suicide Squad. He was the polka dot man. You saw him in Dune. You saw him in Ant-Man. And that one commercial you can't remember, but you know he was good at it. Well, he absolutely nails it here. He is equal parts charming, desperate, and completely hollowed out on the inside. It's like if David Letterman had a midlife crisis and decided to summon Beelzebub for Nelson points. You know, 1988. He is what sells this movie. Without him, it's a neat gimmick. But with him, it's compelling. You believe that this is actually a host that would go this far just to matter again. And he's not a villain. He's just a guy who is just trying to save his job and the job of everyone around him. My goodness, let's go back to the 70s aesthetic because it is absolute perfection here. The warm, hazy camera filters, the live audience clapping just a little too long, the makeup so thick you can practically hear it cracking under the stage lights. Now, the filmmakers, they did not phone this in. They obsessed about every little detail. You'll want to check your room for shag carpeting after watching this film. Who knows? Maybe your house got possessed by the 70s. Stranger Things has happened. Maybe that'll be the big sequel. Now, I'm not saying this movie does not have problems because it has quite a few. So, when the devil really does show up, because the ending of the movie just absolutely goes off the rails and becomes completely bananas. In the last 15 minutes, I'm afraid the movie does fall apart. It's as though someone changed the channel from The Exorcist to Tron Legacy. It's all neon and weird swirly things and wait, are we in hell or a Pink Floyd concert? It's a shame because the first two acts are so subtle and so eerie and so believable that whenever the third act hits, you just kind of sit there like, are we really doing this? You can practically feel the writer's room going, hey, we have like $20 left in the budget, and I just spent $5 of that on Snicker bars. What should we do? You want to blow it all on like demon fireworks or something? Now, I'm not gonna lie, the result is, it's fun. Some people will probably like it, but in my opinion, it undercuts the grounded creepiness that made everything that come before so darn good. And while we're here, there's also this subplot about Jack's dead wife that almost has something to say, but doesn't. It's like they set it up for a big emotional payoff and then went, demons are cooler. But like I said, keep your eye on the background and all the behind the scenes shot because she's hanging out back there. And once you see her, you'll want to find her over and over again. It's like Lookie from She-Ra and the Princess of Power. Late Night with the Devil isn't just a spooky possession flick. It's also a pretty sharp satire about fame, ambition, and the way television turns tragedy into entertainment. Jack Delroy's whole life is a metaphor for what happens when you sell your soul for relevance. Literally, there's some influencers out there who I could name by name, but I'm not going to because they have lawyers. Jack is the kind of guy who says, we'll do anything for ratings, and then the universe says, bet. It's also a fun little time capsule of 1970s media ethics, or should I say lack thereof. Back then, you could put a traumatized child on TV next to a guy in a turtleneck claiming to talk to ghosts, and absolutely nobody blinked. What was wrong with all of you who were adults in the 70s? Please let me know in the comments. Nowadays, I swear, you'd do something like that and you'd be canceled before the commercial break. Is the movie scary? Is the question that I bet you're asking me right now. Yes, this movie is scary, but not in the jump scare every 30 seconds kind of way. It is more scary in that it is unsettling. It's psychological. It's that creeping dread where you start thinking, oh no, I've made a terrible mistake. Except you make that realization 5 minutes too late. You know what I mean? And we've all been there. There are moments that make you genuinely tense, not because something jumped out, but because you know something's going to. The real horror here is not just the demon. It is watching this television host who is just trying to hang on to the last vestige of relevance he has, slowly realize that he's lost control of his show, his audience, and maybe his soul. It's the exact same energy as when you watch a live award show and someone starts giving an unscripted speech and you just sit there thinking, oh no, oh no, oh no. Here's my final thoughts. So despite a finale that veers into the absurd, I really like this movie. It's different, it's weird, it's ambitious, and even though I do think it fumbled with style. You can tell everyone involved in this production cared. They wanted to make something creative, not just another girl gets possessed, a priest speaks Latin, they throw water at her type of story. And honestly, mission accomplished. It's a good film. It's a good film with problems, but the kind of problems that I can forgive because in my opinion, the effort is just that strong. Now, you're thinking, what about the AI? What about the AI? What about the AI? You know what? The use of AI in those commercial breaks, it's disconcerting. It's messed up. And it works. It works. I like it. I'm sorry. I know AI's evil. No, I liked it. I liked it. The star deserves an award or at least a late night show of his own, preferably one without demonic ghosts. I would still tune in. Actually, I wouldn't because I don't watch network TV anymore. So yes, Late Night with the Devil. It might get ridiculous at the end, but the journey there makes it all totally worth it. It's creepy, it's clever, and it's full of the kind of creative risks that I wish more horror movies would have the stones to take. And that is why you should make Late Night with the Devil one of your 31 spooky movies of Halloween. You ever notice how this song is kind of a banger? So anyway, I was wondering where I put my glasses earlier. I'm a dork. Ladies and gentlemen, please like, share, subscribe, comment. I don't know what subscribe means. Why don't you subscribe to my video? People at home saying, oh God, he's been possessed by Satan. No, I've been possessed by Elmer Fudd. Come back next time, because this outro is seriously foobarred for another 31 spooky movies of Halloween. And remember, I may not be that great, but I've never invited Satan on for a guest.